Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into what I believe to be are 10 of the biggest regrets in Grand Theft Auto Online that you may be making when it comes to purchases and spending money, whether it's businesses or vehicles or properties. So, as always, if you enjoy this type of content and you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Starting off, we have a fairly surprising one, I bet, for a lot of players, and that is actually the arcade. The arcade is a business which, up until a few months ago, I would have said is an absolute must-have purchase. But with the Agents of Sabotage DLC and the Garment Factory being added into the game, I would say that the arcade for most players, especially solo players, is not a purchase I would recommend making. Now, if you are a person who has friends and you're grinding the casino heist or you plan on doing it, then yeah, the arcade's a good purchase. But if you're a solo player, you're kind of like me, you're chilling, you're grinding your crates, your cargo, the Cayo Perico heist, purchasing an arcade and you're not going to do the casino heist is a complete waste. And the reason why is because the only other reason you don't own an arcade is this, the Master Control Terminal. It's basically a way to access all of your businesses from one screen. It's very nice. You got the nightclub, you got gun running, you've got the coke lockup, you got everything, even the hangar. The problem is, there's no longer a reason to use this business when the Garment Factory allows you to store the terabyte and specifically equip it with the same Master Control Terminal. It kind of defeats the main thing that I used the arcade for as a solo player. And by the way, the Garment Factory is about the same price as the arcade as well. If we make our way to Maze Bank foreclosures, we can go over to any arcade. Let's say I want to purchase this one here. It's going to be $2.5 million just to buy it. And then the Terminal Command Center is like another $1.3 million. So you're not even saving money when getting the arcade. If you do plan on doing the Diamond Casino heist, I think it's still solid, and it's why the first thing we're talking about. But I still think that for most players, especially because most people are solo nowadays, the arcade is actually a purchase I would not recommend to buy. When it comes to today's video, I'm trying to do things which are a little bit out of the ordinary. Almost every single time you watch a video on the biggest regrets or biggest wastes of money, you're going to see, stuff like the Luxor Deluxe and the Swift Deluxe, which are $10 million and $5 million because they are an absolute waste of money. But I feel like if you're going to buy these aircraft, you already know they're a waste of money because, what else are you buying them for? It's 100% a show-off piece. So because of that, I'm not going to include things which I think most players already know are wastes of money. But this here is a purchase that I have a lot of people telling me they still want to get in GTA. And, I can't blame them. The yacht is really cool, but at the end of the day, it's an absolute waste of money that you're really never going to be able to take advantage of, especially because the yacht isn't even drivable. If the yacht was able to be driven, I'd say, yeah, it's pretty frickin' sick. You got this massive boat that you can move around, and it's not like it would be unheard of either. You can literally drive the Kosatka. I can't imagine it would have been that hard for Rockstar to allow us to drive the super yacht, but unfortunately, you're not able to. So, in general, the yacht is around a $6 to $10 million purchase, which floats in the water. You'll go into about 5 times when you first buy it, be like, oh, that's cool, and then you'll literally never touch it again. That's about as exciting as the yacht gets. It's cool, and it's the closest thing we'll get to, like, mansions in GTA, but unfortunately, there's still really not much of a reason to buy the SS Squidward, as we can see from the naming of my yacht. Would not recommend it, but you can let me know your personal feelings on this one. What do these two vehicles in front of me have in common? Well, they're both police variant vehicles. What Rockstar has done is they take a car which already exists in the game, and then they bump up the price tag to a ridiculously expensive amount, throw on some police lights and sirens, and say, yep, there you go, a new vehicle. Now, again, if you have a lot of money, there's no problem in buying these vehicles, right? I'm not making this video to say you shouldn't ever purchase these things. If you have millions and millions in your GTA account and you want to get your hands on the D10 Pursuit, by all means get it. It's an incredibly cool car. But it's also statistically the same in every single way to the base D10, which is around 1.7 million on Legendary Motorsport. How much do these vehicles cost? Well, going over to Warstock, we can see the D10, 5.6 million! That's insane! And that's not the only one. We also have the Cara Pursuit, which is 5.3 million. And not only that, read this right here. This vehicle can only be modified in properties you own and has a retail value of 0. So if you end up not wanting this vehicle anymore, you're stuck with it. That's it. Selling it for 0. So they're cool, but at the end of the day, I think that these are big wastes of money. I'd much rather get 5 normal sports cars for the price of 1 sports car with lights and sirens. Keeping in line with police vehicles that I wouldn't recommend buying, this is the Police Predator boat. It's the same boat that you'll find when you have cops. And it's cool, don't get me wrong. I really like the look of it, and it's always been a vehicle that I've kind of wanted to own in GTA. The problem is the price tag that Rockstar set on it. This vehicle costs $3.78 million. And even if you have the trade price, it's still $2.8 million. Who's spending $3 million on a police boat? Like, yes, it was given away for free to certain players, but still, please don't waste your money on this. You can buy a Toreador, which will go faster in the water. You can buy a Deluxo, which can hover over the water and achieve way more. This is by far one of the most useless buys that you can make in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's it's pretty high up there. This here is the P-996 Lazer. It's an aircraft which people have wanted to own for many years in Grand Theft Auto Online, and Rockstar did eventually give us, as the players, the ability to purchase it. However, there's a problem with the Lazer, and that is simply the price tag that has been placed on it. $6.5 million. And honestly, it's not even the price tag that really hurts this jet. There's a couple other reasons. First of all, Rockstar nerfed the OG explosive machine gun that this jet used to feature. It used to be able to just, blow everything up. But unfortunately, it no longer has that capability because it kind of just has the normal explosive machine gun that a Rogue or a Raiju has. And why would you ever buy this when you can buy an F-160 Raiju? But it goes even a step further, because instead of buying a Lazer, you can literally just spawn at the military base with your Fort Zancudo hangar and steal a Lazer. Like, why would you ever buy it when you can steal one for free every single time you go to the hangar? Like, yeah, I don't really need to say much more. And it's not like you can upgrade the Lazer either. The only thing you can do is customize its color palette. That's it. You can't put any personal upgrades on it. You can't upgrade its armor, its mobility, its weaponry. All it gets is a color upgrade. So yeah, there's really no reason to ever buy a Lazer, I guess, apart from, like, showing off, but you can just steal one from the military base whenever you want, as long as you own a Zancudo hangar. And that's why the Lazer will always be one of the biggest wastes of money in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now here's an interesting one, this being the Oppressor Mark II. Some of you might be thinking to yourself, Poob, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you putting an Oppressor Mark II in the worst purchases? Well, it's not that necessarily the Oppressor Mark II is a bad purchase, but it's sometimes how people decide to spend their money on the Oppressor Mark II. There's two different scenarios we're going to talk about here. We're going to start off, first of all, let's pretend you're a new player. And, you've seen so many videos saying the Oppressor Mark II is the best tool for grinding. It's the best vehicle for PvP. It's the best this. It's the best that. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to get my hands on the Oppressor. Well, here's the problem with that, right? To get your hands on the Oppressor, you first of all need to purchase a terabyte, which is going to set you back around $2 million. Not only do you need to buy a terabyte, but you also need to have a place to store it. So let's say you buy the Garment Factory and the terabyte. So that's already about $4.5 to $5 million. Then you have to purchase the Oppressor. And the Oppressor is one of the most expensive purchases. Sorry, my dog just sneezed. That was actually hilarious. Oh, man. Either way, the Oppressor itself is $8 million, $6 million if they have the trade price. So, purchasing the Oppressor without the trade price and all of the other things is going to set you back close to $14 million. $14 million for one vehicle, when you can literally just buy a Kosatka and then purchase a Sparrow, which is around $4 million. The Sparrow is just as efficient when it comes to grinding, and is legitimately better in half of the situations anyway. There's really no reason to buy an Oppressor as a beginner when you can get a Sparrow. But then there's the second thing, and that's more what I wanted to talk about today, and that is people wasting $2 million, right? The Oppressor is a base price tag of $8 million, but you can get the trade price by simply completing like 5 client jobs, which will take you like an hour of work. And not only do you get paid a decent amount for those client jobs, but it will shave $2 million off of the price tag. There's so many people I see that waste $2 million on the Oppressor when they can just shave that off with an hour of work and then instantly have the discounted version. So that's why the Oppressor makes today's video. No, I don't think it's a bad vehicle, and I don't think it's a bad purchase. But I think if you're wasting money on this as a beginner, or you're wasting money on the trade price, which you should be always getting, then that's just foolish. So you can let me know your personal feelings on this one. The Weaponized Conada is a helicopter that had a lot of potential going for it, but Rockstar kind of threw all of that potential away. To get your hands on this helicopter, you're going to have to go over to Warstock Cash and Carry and scroll just a little bit past the police cars. It's a base price tag of $3.4 million. And what does the Weaponized Conada have going for it? Well, it has homing missiles. And even though it has 4 homing missiles, it can only shoot 2 of them at a time. Yep. That's how long you have to wait to be able to shoot them. Why Rockstar chose that, I cannot tell you. It really makes 0 sense, especially when we have helicopters like the Aquila, the FH-1 Hunter, which either feature a barrage or much better capabilities. The only thing the Conada has going for it is speed. It is the second fastest helicopter in the game, only behind the Sparrow. That's it. It has everything else the exact same as the Buzzard. And what's funny about the Buzzard is I can register as a boss, go into my SecuroSurf tab, and call it in whenever I want right through the interaction menu, and it spawns on the road below me. This, I have to go into the interaction menu, I have to scroll through all my helicopters that I own, call it in, it takes up a personal vehicle slot. What a useless purchase. This is one of the biggest letdowns ever as well, because I was really excited for the Conada when it was first announced. It doesn't have a tail rotor, which means it can't be shot out of the sky, and it's super fast, but, you know, then I realized it's just completely pointless when I can call in a Sparrow, which does everything better. But you can let me know your personal feelings. You can't even put flares on this thing, by the way. What a waste of money. In front of me, we have 2 Jester RR wide bodies. Can you tell me which of them is fully upgraded and which is completely stock? Well, if you're having a challenging time, don't worry, I am too. These vehicles suck. And the reason why is because there's no customization. This is my personal fully upgraded wide body here. And there's no difference from a completely stock one. There's no bumper upgrades, there's no spoiler upgrades, there's no upgrades. All you can do is give it an engine tune and change the respray. That's as exciting as it gets. And what's funny is that we have a normal base Jester RR right here, which has an insane amount of customization. It's got 18,000 different bumper options, different hood options, different spoiler options, different splitter options. This car has so many different customization options going for it. And yet, it's also cheaper. I don't understand it. And the funniest part is that this Jester is also faster in terms of top speed, while having very similar lap time to the normal wide body. So why would you ever buy the wide body? But hey, if you did want to pick it up, you're going to have to go over to, is it Legendary Motorsport? Yeah, there it is, 2.3 million. What a waste of money. Sometimes just Rockstar baffles me. Why they couldn't have spent an ounce of effort to give it some customization. That's all it needed, was a little bit of customization, and it would have been pretty cool, but nope. Instead, they just made it absolutely useless, but you can let me know your feelings on that one in the comments. Now that brings us to properties, specifically expensive properties. If we make our way onto our phone and we scroll to Dynasty 8 and we view property listings, we can see price high to low. And, you know, you've got a $1.1 million Eclipse Towers penthouse. You got another $985,000 penthouse. We got these stilt apartments, which are $700,000. As we can see, there's a bunch of Eclipse locations as well here that you can purchase. The question that I have for you is, why would you ever purchase the $1.1 million penthouse suite when you can also purchase a $300,000 Eclipse location, which, sure, might not have the same level of customization in it, but still features a 10-car garage? I mean, at this point, who is actually looking at the interior of their 18,000 different apartments? Look at all the different properties I own in GTA. Like, I have so many. I have alone, like, 5 different Eclipse Tower locations. And at this point, I don't care what the interior of my building looks like. And maybe when you're purchasing your first property, you will. But I can tell you, once you're on your 7th, 8th, 9th apartment, you're not going to give doodly squat about what the interior looks like. So instead of spending, you know, $800,000, $900,000 on useless properties like I have, go from low to high, click on the high-end category, And then you can start scrolling specifically to something like Del Perro Heights. This alone has 3 different locations, all with 10-car garages, all very, very inexpensive. You have things like Integrity Way, which has, again, another 3 locations here, all very inexpensive, also featuring 10-car garages. So just buying these, 6 locations alone, you're saving millions of dollars, and you got 60 cars worth of garage slots. So I can tell you one of the biggest regrets I have in GTA is wasting money on these useless stilt house apartments and properties that just don't give me anything apart from a hassle to drive to. Then that brings us to the final thing to talk about in today's video, another property, the bail office. To purchase the bail office, you're going to have to go to Maze Bank Foreclosures and scroll over to the bail office tab all the way in the top here. Let's say you want to get your hands on this location right here, 2.6 million. Oh, I misclicked. Let's go back over there. 2.6 million. And then after that, let's say you want to put some agents. Boom, boom. Get your personal sleeping quarters. Get some armor plating on your van. And that's a $4.5 million purchase. What do you get for that $4.5 million? Well, you get one of the lamest passive income properties in the game. You make $15,000 every 48 minutes. That's it. And not only that, but the most money you can possibly earn is the specialist contract. We have Leroy O'Neal, which will pay me $130,000. Take me about 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and you can only do it once a day! Once a day! That's crazy! Especially because we have properties that already exist, like the Garment Factory, which you can do very easy missions that take around the same 15-ish minutes, and they'll pay you $150,000. And you can keep doing these over and over and over again. I know there's going to be people that try and stand up for the bail office because for some reason they think that this is like a good property. The $4.5 million you're spending on this business, the amount of time it's going to take for you to earn it back is just a joke, especially when there are much better ways of earning money. If you have not done the 200 security contracts for your agency and you're not earning that $20,000 of passive income, do that. Complete security contracts instead of wasting your time doing bail office jobs. But you can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions down below. Either way, those are the 10 worst purchases that I think you can make in Grand Theft Auto Online that you'll probably end up regretting later. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you agree or disagree, hopefully you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye!